Okay, so let's look at BIMDAS, which deals with what we say the order of operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In other words, if we have a long sum, how do we solve that sum, taking into account the different operators, be they multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction? Well, there's a rule we must follow, and that's known as BIMDAS. And BIMDAS means that when we're to solve a long problem like this, we must always look at the problem from left to right. And the first time we look at the problem, we scan through and we look for any brackets or parentheses, and we solve or fix what's inside those brackets. Then we move on, we go from left to right again, and we look for indices or powers. And having done that, then we go and we look from left to right, and we look for either multiplication or division signs. So whichever one we come across first, we work with that. And when we've all the multiplication and division signs dealt with, we then go on to look for any addition or subtraction signs. So that's why I've written it like this, that the brackets are over indices, which are over multiplication and or division, so we can, these two are equal to each other. Whichever comes first from left to right, that's the one we deal with before we consider addition and subtraction signs. I suppose the best way to do it is by example. So let's say we have this problem here. 18 divided by 6 plus 2 squared minus bracket 7 plus 2 divided by 3 plus 1 plus 3 times 7. On our first scan through, we look through the sum and we notice the brackets that were here. Okay, maybe if I do this, bear with me. Okay, so let's fix what's in the brackets. We have 18 divided by 6 plus 2 squared and minus 7 plus 2 is 9, and the rest of the sum is written out. Next time we scan through, we look to see if there's any indices. We fix the brackets, so we look to see if there's any indices, and we see that we've 2 squared here, so that becomes 4. And when we scan through again, now we're looking for either a multiply sign or a division sign, and our first two terms have a division sign here, so 18 divided by 6 is 3, and we carry on with the rest of the sum. And when we go again, we notice that there's another division sign here, so 9 divided by 3 Now another very important method in maths is to be sure and know how to work with positive and negative numbers. So when we're working with positive and negative numbers, we're either adding stroke subtracting them, or we might be multiplying, dividing them. So let's look at what we do. What's the rule if we're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers? So the first thing to do is, if I have two numbers like plus 6 minus 7, I need to look at the signs. If the signs are different, if one number I'm adding to the other is positive and the other is negative, if they're different, then I keep the sign of the bigger number and take the small number from the big. So if I have plus 6 minus 7, the bigger number there is the 7, so I keep the sign of that, which is minus, and I take the little number from the big. 6 from 7 is 1. So plus 6 minus 7 is minus 1. What about if the signs are the same? Well, if the signs are the same, I keep the sign I keep the sign, they're the same, whatever the sign is, I'll keep that, and I just add the two numbers. So minus 6 minus 7, the signs are the same, keep the sign, add the numbers, becomes minus 13. And then if I'm multiplying or dividing, the same rule applies for both numbers with positive and negative numbers. Like signs give a plus sign in the answer, unlike signs give a minus sign in the answer. So for multiplication, plus times plus, plus 3 by plus 2 gives a plus answer. Minus by minus gives a plus because their like signs give plus. Unlike signs, positive by negative gives negative, negative by positive gives negative. So plus 3 times minus 2, I'm just using the multiplication dot there, not the multiplication sign. But plus 3 times minus 2, plus by negative is negative because they're unlike, and 3 by 2 is 6, minus 6. Minus 2 by minus 3, minus by minus gives plus, like signs give plus, 2 by 3 is 6. And for division then it's the same. Like signs, a plus divided by a plus gives a plus, and minus divided by a minus gives a plus. They're like signs. Minus divided by plus, negative, plus divided by minus is negative. So minus 6 divided by 3, that's negative, this is positive. They're not the same, they're unlike. They give minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. Minus 12 divided by minus 4, minus and minus, they're like signs, they give plus. 12 divided by 4 is 3. A really important rule to know in maths as well is when we're multiplying the contents inside brackets by a negative number outside the brackets. So I'm just going to ask now, what is, or simplify, minus brackets 3 inside the brackets? Okay, well, minus 3 inside the brackets is actually the same as, there's a 1 there but you don't see it, okay? Same as minus 1 times plus 3. Okay, so now really this is like looking at this problem here. Minus 1 times plus 3. Now it's not minus 1 plus 3, it's minus 1 multiplied by plus 3. So minus by plus, unlike signs, give negative. 1 by 3 gives 3. So minus brackets 3 is actually equal to minus 3. And if we look here, minus 4, that's the same as, there's a minus 1 outside the brackets there. It's the same as minus 1 times minus 4. So minus by minus gives plus, 1 by 4 gives 4. Minus 3 by 2, minus by the plus sign in there gives minus, and 3 by 2 gives 6. So be very careful with the minus sign outside brackets. It actually kind of acts like a switch in that it switches the sign. So if we have, it switches the signs of the numbers inside the brackets. So we'll stop this video here and we'll carry on with Algebra 2. We'll meet with the rest of the algebra course now in the next few videos.